It took me 4 times to pass that real estate exam. Tell everybody. But again, it's that act of perseverance and determination. I said, I will get this. And I was so close to miss about 1, miss about 2, miss about 3, miss about 1. Oh boy, that was rocky. But here we are.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Homer here, and welcome to the DHomer Real Estate Podcast, Season 2. Today, we have an amazing guest here. A little bio of this gentleman. He is a real estate broker, real estate investor, and entrepreneur. And over the past 15 years, he's been actively involved in every aspect of real estate in the industry, working with great clients, selling everything from HUD homes, for those who don't know, that it's housing and urban development, also to luxury homes. He founded the Headley Group in 2011, which is an award-winning real estate brokerage in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's a fellow podcast host. The Headley Group the Headley Group Real Estate Show is a podcast dedicated to highlighting real estate professionals, entrepreneurs, and other fields alike, where the mission is to acknowledge people of color and their success to help grow and build, as well as help your listeners pick up tips and tricks to build additional streams of income. And the gentleman that I'm talking about, originally from Brooklyn, New York, Michael Headley. Sir, how you doing?
Oh, brother, thank you, man. Let me tell you something. That was I do my own guests like that. That was a wonderful opening, and I'm doing well. And thank you for having me on the show, brother.
I appreciate it. Now, again, before we go into things, I have icebreaker questions I like to ask, so I get to know you as well as my listeners and watchers. So before we actually start recording, you are a diehard New York fan.
That's right. So
my question is, what are your thoughts on how they did this year? Because I know the previous year they made it to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. This year was a little bit rocky. I would love to hear your opinion on that.
Well, first thing, brother, I want to say thank you for that icebreaker question. And for those who was unsure what he's talking about the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, the old school New York Knicks, right? And I am a true fan, been a fan since I was 5, 6 years old. My pops used to take me to the games. And we don't want to get too graphic on the show, but I got a nice tattoo on this arm right here, right? Nice tattoo. And the brother and the host, he was shocked when I showed it to him, right? I said, right? So, to your question in terms of how they do this year. This year was, I would say, again, we got to contribute things to injuries, right? We had some good injuries with our center Robinson.
Yeah,
Rose went out, which he's a big anchor coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I still like our core because our core is young, and one thing the Knicks do. And they have done this in the past, which always they suffer later on, is that they trade all their young talent, getting somebody who's pretty much on their last legs.
Yeah.
They don't perform, and then now we back at square one. And let me add this right here too: a lot of players, I don't know what it is. No, I think I already know what it is, but a lot of players can't perform in New York. Like they'll perform so much, but when they get some of that big apple, because we're gonna flip on them. We get about 2 or 3 games, and you start getting sloppy, we're gonna let you hear it, and then I think it affects their self-esteem. But a lot of them can't play in New York City.
I wanna ask, because I'm in Toronto,
okay,
and I'm curious to know. So Philadelphia and New York are the two like fan bases that are ready to boo you like on your home court. Yeah. Why is that?
I think what it is what have you done for me lately attitude, right? It's like, look, man, we trying to win, and particularly for, I guess, New York, like we haven't been winning in long. The last time we really kind of went somewhere was 2013. That's when we got shut down in the first round. But Melo won the I think the leading scorer of the year, and Tyson Chandler was Defensive Player of the Year. And like sixth man of the year, I think it was J.R. Smith. Like we had a great team, but we got shut in the first round. And we get tired of you almost taking us their players, and then we don't go to them. So we're gonna flip on you.
And one last question on the Knicks. How are your thoughts on R.J. Barrett?
Oh man, that's my guy. Let me tell you something. And it's no shot to R.J., but I know we came out third, but if we had that second pick with John Morant, oh man, I like that. Yeah, Morant, but I do like Barrett because he's coachable. Now he listens, right? He doesn't have this attitude. Like I know, and I think that's a humbleness from his father, as well as Steve Nash, who's the coach of the Nets.
Yeah,
had an important role with him, in his upbringing. Yeah. So I think he has a lot of humbleness, but I really like our core. I like Quickly. I like my man, Obi Toppin. Listen, we got a nice core.
He can bounce.
Yes, I think if we can get us a solid, probably veteran point guard, not too old, but if we can get us a point guard who thinks pass first and shoot second, I think we can do well.
So I was about to ask a whole bunch of basketball questions. I'm like, what happened to Kemba? But you know what? Let's.
Oh, is that? And he's from the Bronx, and that's what get me. Oh, he out of there. He gone. So that pressure, yeah, he gone. He gonna get ready.
Well, thank you for answering that. I appreciate that.
Right.
Now, the second icebreaker question is: if you had to choose any superpower, what would it be?
Oh man. Oh, you know something? I think this is a good one, but I don't want to sound too kind of creepy on this one, but I want to be able to control the power of thought. You control the thinking. You can control anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you can. You control, you literally can. I mean, that is the power. Some people want to be visible, they want to hear more, but let me control the power of thought.
I like that. Now, the final icebreaker question is: if you had the opportunity, would you rather speak with your past self or future self?
Well, you know something? I think I got to do a mixture of both, right? And the reason why is because I think you don't have, it all depends on your perspective, how you see things, but I don't think you have a solid future without a past that you can bounce from. Because I could say for me, for example, like with my past, it's made me the person I am today, right? So I would say, yeah, I think I just think in order to have a good future, again, speaking my perspective, a solid future with foundation and morals, principles, I think your past, no matter how that looked, no matter if it was pain and suffering, I think you bounce from that.
I love it. And that's all the icebreaker questions. So I want to thank you again for answering the 3 questions.
I might have used that's my show, brother. I like the icebreaker question. I don't do that, but anyway, I like that idea. I'm taking it.
Go ahead, take it.
Scholars is the education center where we help students maximize their truest potential.
With more of that one-on-one focus, smaller class sizes, individual attention, doesn't matter your age, your grade, what subject you're in, Scholars has a program for you.
I want to give you the opportunity to, share and formally introduce yourself to listeners and viewers.
Okay, so Mike Headley, host of the Headley Group Real Estate show back here. Please like and support.
Yes,
as well as the founder of the Headley Group Realty, which we we started it. Actually, we started 2011, but we really kind of moved our location till 2016. And I saw a need, particularly in my market here, of there was, and again, it still is to this day. There's specks of us kind of spread throughout. In terms of when I mean us, hey, I'm unapologetic. Hey, I love my people, right? It doesn't mean I'm racist by no means, right? But there's nothing wrong with loving my people, right? Sure. And I saw that there was a need in terms of that level of treatment, that level of training, that dedication, not just because you're not producing, I'm gonna skip over you, right? So I wanted to create something here, which we do have. That's what I was trying to get. So, started real estate brokerage, and again, been licensed for 15 years now. We sold, again, not from a bragging standpoint, but we sold thousands of homes. But with that, it got coupled me with a lot of experience, as well as a lot of just expertise where I can pass down to my new brokers that comes into the business. And then what made me kind of get this going here. The podcast is all about brand awareness. I mean, the thing is, you got a company, but no one knows about it, right? And it's all about attention. You could be the best person, the best person that's sitting in a cubby hole, but nobody knows about it. How you gonna get people to use your services? So
Exactly.
the brand awareness was the key thing. And I tell everybody this is not credit to me, but I am a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. I would love to get you on the show, Gary. Please come.
Yes, same here.
Exactly. We need you, but no, we don't need you. We prefer to have you. But Gary Vaynerchuk, I heard him say that, in terms of brand awareness, like why you don't have a podcast, like why are you not putting yourself out there, and it's free for now.
Exactly.
So that was my reasoning of starting the Headley Group Real Estate show. And again, we're climbing little by little, right? And a lot of times, we reach out to some guests say, nah, I'm not interested because we don't maybe have enough views. We're big enough, but little do they know anything about Mike Headley. I don't stop. Wow. Trust me, I'm be moving because I've been doing this. I think I'm almost on my 58, 59, 60th episode, and we keep moving. I'm not stopping because I know it's gonna pop.
I love it. Now you did mention that you've been in the industry for over 15 years. I'd love to know, like, what were you doing before getting into real estate?
Oh man, brother, I think I was doing the investment thing. The whole objective of me getting my license, I was a friend of mine. He was the flipping a house thing, and I always intrigued me. So I flipped one or two of them with him. I told a story in a previous podcast I was interviewed on. We had a house, we flipped it, and this is 2006, 2006, 5-6, and the realtor came. Actually, we're good friends to this day. He came out and put a sign in the yard, had on the contract in 2 days, and we closed 2.5 weeks, and he made $7,500. And I looked at that. This is the HUD settlement statement. We're going to use a prop here. Looked at the HUD settlement statement, and I was like, man, what? $7,500? He really do. Let me go get my real estate license. That sparked me to go get my real estate license.
I love it. You started off as an investor. You saw that. You're like, wait a minute, 2 days? It's me time.
Let me get my license now. And again, just piggybacking, I don't want to dive deep into it unless you got more follow-up questions. But I do want to add, it took me 4 times to pass that real estate exam. Tell everybody. But again, it's that act of perseverance and determination. I said, I will get this. And I was so close to miss about 1, miss about 2, miss about 3, miss about 1. Oh boy, that was rocky. But here we are.
I actually mentioned it before as well. Like I've failed. Like in Canada, it's a lot more different.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to go through go through school, and you
gotta go through school as well here. But it's
we have like 4 different. Like it's outlandish of the like I've compared, and I've honestly contemplated moving to the States, but like it's different. And I failed, a few times as well. But again, the perseverance. Of how bad you really want this, it's really impactful. So as I was preparing for this, I was looking and I saw that, you started your sales journey back when you were 14, selling newspapers. After selling newspapers, did you eventually start selling, different things like, shoes, flipping items off of eBay, cars? Like, well, tell me your journey about, sales.
Well, I'm gonna give you the journey about sales, and one thing I tell every guest that be on my show: we keep it real, we keep it honest. I was selling a lot of illegal stuff too. Put it out there, right? So we did the newspaper thing. Hey, listen, I'm from the streets, and I'm not. That's something to be proud about. But hey, we didn't sell newspapers. We sold stuff that was in the newspapers, right? So we sold a little bit of weed, sold a little bit of dope. And any kind of way of how can I make money, right?
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes the guidance wasn't there to say, listen, that's illegal. You may want to stop that, right? But one day the light bulb did come off. Hey, that's not good. Okay, so let me focus on this, on the right thing to do, as far as newspaper. And I don't know about it in the state, but New York City, when they came up with it was on a bottle, on bottles and cans. You can get 5-cent refund, right? You turn in the bottle of can, it's 5 cents. You can turn that in. And I was collecting bottles, cans, taking it to the store, digging in the trash, not saying I was homeless by no means, but I wanted to make more money. Right? So I was
Hustling.
doing that, and hey, that's the hustle mentality. But yes, that's where that sales journey, that's where it came from, right there.
Now, I ask every single salesperson this question, like, are you a born salesperson, or do you think you can be taught? Like, can you teach someone how to sell, or this is something that you just have to be born with?
Well, I don't think it's a born thing. I think it's an experience thing. And what I mean by that is my family, we grew up rocky, right? Welfare, we wasn't out the trash cans, but at the same time, we had to share, we were sharing.
Yeah.
So in other words, money wasn't at the top of the list terms of coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when my point in saying that is that when you touch that place of, man, I mean, okay, if I had just a little bit more money, I can dress a little more better, I can eat a little more better. Okay, that's what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I said the experience, I believe, will catapult you into getting to where you've been. Like, just like, and I don't get off topic here. It was times where I was like broke, I had no money. Whereas my pockets like rabbit ears, like Biggie Small says, right? So it was like I didn't have a family member to call and say, "Let's help me with this mortgage." But and that feeling there, or a feeling of despair. Oh man, that's I said to myself, I'll vow, but hopefully the man upstairs never go back that way. But now never want to be broke again, ever. So from them experiences, that will put a fire in you to keep moving.
Yeah.
Give up.
I love it. I love it. And I always say it, like, I remember there's a quote from Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. He said one quote that changed my life. He's like, once you suffered enough, you will do whatever it takes to change that circumstance. And believe you, as you just stated, you will never, never.
That hurts. There's two kinds of pains, right? Well, I have several. I put them in categories, but I have this. I would say there's two kinds of pains for this category, and one would be that pain of love. Relationship. You go through something, and then being broke. Whew, man, let me tell you something. When you broke, man, it's like you can't.
The world.
that hurts, brother. That hurts.
For real. I trust me, and I appreciate your honesty, because again, a lot of people really don't talk about these experiences that they go through, because like this is what's gonna help someone watching this. Like, he gets it, and this is now fuel for that individual, that male or that female, right? So now you're selling, you're doing whatever you need to do to survive. What was your introduction to real estate? So you said that your friend and you were bought a home, like investing. What actually got you into investing?
Well, like I was saying, a friend of mine, he was doing the house flipping thing. So I was like, hey, what's going on with that? And again, you see what comes on TVs now, maybe not as much, the midnight infomercials. Hey, you can buy this course. You can make $6,000 in 2 days, them courses. So, and it was this one course that I forgot the name of it that I did buy. And it's crazy, my knowledge now, with the core information they was providing, it was general information, right? So that's why I tell people now is that any kind of way you see courses on social media, and not saying that these ones are not providing valuable information. Yes, they're probably providing valuable surface information, right? General information, but are they giving you the core, the detail, the specifics that can enable you to, pull out as much golden nuggets as you can out of that course? But anyway, me buying the course, that always intrigued me. So then I seen a friend of mine, so again, he was doing house flipping. I said, hey, I want to be a part of that. And he was like, let's find the deal. So let me tell you something about my first deal. This is so crazy. It's crazy and funny at the same time. And let me back it up a little bit. You said something a minute ago when you talked about, I appreciate you sharing, being vulnerable and sharing these moments. Here's the thing. I think a lot of, hopefully your audience can relate to that, and I think they will, because There's more of that, what I just said, probably about 90% versus the 10% that's glamorized on social media. Hey, buy this, you get these yacht cars, this beautiful house. Listen, there's more people going through a struggle with having a business. The business, again, having a business is cool, but yes, there's a lot of work involved. And that part, they don't really highlight, right? They don't part the struggle part. So I digress about that, but I just wanted to touch on that, what you just said. Story with my first deal, and usually the first ones you get burnt on, and then that's why I'm gonna tell you the story. I got burnt on. It was a young lady, you know, I think I was dating at the time. Well, we was hanging out, and we was having a conversation. She was like, "Yeah, my grandmother is about to lose a house." I was like, "Well, what do you mean lose a house? What's going on?" And she was saying that a window company was going around different places and say, "Hey, you want new windows?" They sold her, threw new windows on the house, put a lien on the property.
Oh my God.
As a result, they couldn't pay the lien, and they target these lower income, particularly people of color communities that have a lack of knowledge. That's another conversation.
No.
So as a result, put a lien on the property. Now they filing foreclosure. So I was like, well, why they just can't pay to work out a payment plan? Now they don't want to do that. They want all their money. So ended up doing some research, told the guy gentleman about it. And I said, I got kind of burnt on. And he did some research. She only owed, I think, $8,000 as far as the mortgage. And she owed $11,000 to the window company. After that, the house is paid for.
Wow.
So, wow, okay. So the first thing his mind is running. He says, how about I give her $5,000, sign Dito, if he can work out this with the window company and he pay off the mortgage balance. Long story short, he ended up paying all that off. And he gave me, so he paid it off, sold a house to me for $45,000, right? Sold to me, I went through the loan process and everything. So I really didn't kind of get burnt, but the fact is I got a house that needed repair work and everything, and I had a mortgage, and it's my first time in real estate. I didn't know how to paint and didn't do any of that. I was broke too at the time. Let me add that. So he got his $45,000, and so now I'm working and I'm taking the money I got. I'm buying 5 buckets of paint from Walmart. I'm out there painting the house myself. Seeing a guy at Lowe's, Home Depot. Hey, my man, what kind of work you do? I said, listen, I got a hole in this kitchen floor. Can you fix it? I said, I only got $80. Cool. He came out there, he fixed it. So it's them small struggles and doing what you have to do just to make it work. And I end up finding a tenant, putting him in there, and end up selling it to him for about $60,000. So paid my balance off, then I walked away with something 2 years later. So it was a win-win later on.
It's a blessing right there. That's a blessing.
So when it comes to the cash values within a participating whole life policy, the cash values can be used in a multitude of different ways. However, the main purpose of it is when you think about a whole life policy, you want to understand that the premiums that you are paying into the policy are a blended premium. So your blended premium is the pure cost of permanent insurance, as well as the investment that you're investing in, which is an investment with the direction of the insurance company specifically. The amazing part about the cash value in a whole life policy as opposed to other permanent insurances is this whole life policy cash value is guaranteed cash value. So you are able to take from this and plan within this policy at any given time in the form of an actual withdrawal or in the form of a policy loan. There's a lot of different ways to utilize it, but these are the reason why the cash value in a whole life is really special. And this message was brought to you by The Hustle Never Dies.
Now I kind of want to transition into the Headley Group. And one question I wanted to know was, before starting your own team, were you a solo agent or did you join a team yourself? Okay,
what happens is as far as putting together the company, right? Because again, we are a company.
Yes.
I was start off as a solo agent. I worked for a big box brokerage about 9 years, and we had the #1 top team with that brokerage. It had to be about we had 3 buyers agents. I was a listing agent, and we had about 4 or 5 assistants, right? It was extremely busy. And it just made sense to do the transition to quote unquote cut the umbilical cord, right? So moving on and start our own shop. But yes, I did have a team prior, and then but it was just me first starting out individually.
And how was that experience? Being new into the business and now, okay, I'm now a solo. Like what kind of enticed you to say, you know what? I guess I'm part of this big time brokerage. However, I want to do this solo right now.
Oh, well, when I first started, like I said, I didn't join the team. It was just me. And I knew that I had to quote unquote hustle. No, hustle gets a bad rap. Just sometimes that word, right? But I think it's the core of everything. So yeah, I was out there just hustling the grind. And I mean, doing anything and everything I can to make myself make money, sell house. Right. So I was following up on all leads, had agents in the office, and the lead that they didn't want, I was on it. And it takes that kind of attitude and that approach to it, I think, to really, really be successful. Like the last thing you want to do is be pick and choosy towards leads. And you get people do that, which is crazy to me. Right. So particularly when you don't have no business, how you picking and choosing, right? So just because you have nothing, just because they're not ready now, they will be in the future, right? They're people. Like we tell our brokers now is that if they got a heartbeat in the pulse, you need to be engaging it, right? You need to be engaging somebody. Ain't no somebody looking to buy or sell. You're there to take care of all their real estate needs, right? So again, you never know where a referral may come from. May not come directly from them, far as them helping you in your business. But again, they know people. So, but yes, me by myself, starting off in a cubicle.
So now, like this podcast also, I have a lot of new agents who watch as well. So
yes,
what would you say?
I love talking to them. Oh, let me pull up my seat for this here. Go ahead.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between coming in, going solo, or joining a team? What do you think is the biggest difference?
Well, to me, you got to see what's good for you, right? Tailor everything for you. The last thing you want to do is do the comparing thing, right? And I don't get off sidetrack it, but I think that's what people do for social media.
Yeah.
One thing, being inspired, that's totally different. But don't measure something based off what you see. Sometimes it could be a facade because you don't know what's going on behind them curtains, right? You run your own race, right? And you see what's best for you. If you go niche down in a particular area in real estate, again, I've always said real estate is the bark, right? The roots. But all of the tree limbs and all that is, I want to go luxury, commercial, industrial, office space, multifamily, rentals, property management. There's so many different areas. And again, you can't be everything to everybody, particularly just being you starting off, right? So it goes back to, I don't know how your viewers feel about the Gary Keller One Thing, which is a great book. Whereas though, not saying you can't do these things, nor not saying that you don't have the capability of doing it, but what happens is you go ahead and leverage one thing, master it, and then open up the doors for a whole bunch of other things. So I would say is that definitely you want to find something that you want. And again, if you don't know, start throwing paint on the wall and see what sticks, right? So you might say, well, I really enjoy first-time home buyers. I really enjoy it, right? I enjoy listings for the price range of $400,000 to $650,000. Okay, I'm locking into that. So what am I going to do to lock in, particularly with that there? Whether it be social media, I'm a door knock, I'm a canvas the area, I'm gonna do videos, I'm gonna give free consultations. Hey, I'm gonna walk through Costco's, I'm gonna walk through Whole Foods and let people know I'm in real estate. And I think one thing about this this industry is that let's just face it, right? This part can't be taught, but I think it just has to be in you. You can't be shy and meek and, introvert. You can't be that, right? You can't be that in real estate, right? Not if I just think that to be the top echelon, like to get up there, you have to engage people.
Yeah.
People, that's the money, right? Yeah. And I hate to say it this way, but when you see people, you need to see dollar signs, right? I mean, it's a little humor there, but find your niche, right? You have to find that niche, and whatever that is. If you don't know what that is, then you start talking to people. Start talking. Hey, what are you doing in real estate in terms of some of the mentors, some of the people that's within the office, some people that are doing well, because what they do, you may not be interested in doing that. You get some people work solely on new construction. They work with developers. Now, a lot of times that might be kind of challenging as far as a new agent. Why is that? Because that's a relationship, but that's a building a relationship in a period of time with a developer. Developers putting 10, 20, 50 homes on lot, and you come new agent, not saying you can't get the business, but a lot of times they big on reputation and experience. Sure. I know you're gonna get these sold. What kind of team and backing foundation you got behind you? So find your niche, find something that you really want to kind of focus on in the field of real estate, and try a whole bunch of things starting off. But then you just start knocking one off, and then I'm not interested in that, not interested in that, and then until you find that one thing.
No, I like that. And
long answer, my bad.
No, I know. I love it. Keep grow, roll. Now, one thing that I'm curious to know, like, before I get into my next question, like, do you think that this industry is very now saturated?
Well, to me, like I said, I think real estate has always been saturated. The only strong survive. What I mean by that is that people think, okay, interest rate, is lowered down, okay, not as much inventory, much about it brings them in. When I came to the market, when I came to real estate, it was a buyer's market. Every house, every block, you see about 6 houses for sale. You could say, hey, you know something, I'm in Toronto, we'll fly down to the States, North Carolina, I'll look at that house 2 weeks later. It might still be there. Now, let alone 2 hours, the house is gone, right? So it's but that brought in an influx of people as well. So as each market changes, there'll people who come in and there'll people who go out. But majority of time is like in any industry. 80% is sold by the top 20% all the time.
Yeah, and that's something that I definitely learned. It's like there's a lot of people, like right now. I think there was a stat. I think there was like 80,000 people, licensed in Toronto, but only like 1% actually does the business. And because I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard about real estate and I was interested in it, I'm like, okay, I'm really passionate about it. So when I get into it and I saw the numbers, I'm like, whew. Like there's more real estate agents and houses being sold.
Let me tell you something. You got some states where it's so bad. Like by the time you look up, it's like one in every 5 people probably got a license, but are they really practicing? Right? Like I do this full time. So some of them, and there's nothing wrong. I'm sorry, go ahead. No,
continue what you're saying.
There's nothing wrong with, and again, we take agents here who's part-time, right? Who am I to tell you, hey, you can't work here, your financial situation. I started off part-time, right? So again, you give agents an opportunity. But I do know that you'll hit a ceiling being part-time, right? Because you can't be everywhere all the time. Don't forget you got to work, you may have a family, right? Then you want some personal time with yourself. And I just think particularly when you get in real estate, starting your business, let me emphasize that, right? Or I tell my brokers that you're a business owner who happens to have a license to sell real estate, right? You're a business person. And what happens when you start up a business? It takes all your time.
Yep.
If you want it to grow, you got to nurture it, resources, financials in order to grow. But if you neglect it, then you won't get anywhere. Eric Thomas, I don't know if you're familiar with Eric Thomas.
Most definitely, yeah.
That's my guy. I met that brother, boy, powerful. But love to get him on the podcast as well. But the brother said something, which, we had said so many great things, but this is one of the things that really stuck out when he said, don't be upset at the results from the work you didn't do.
Yep.
It's like, well, because I ask all my team members, and I'm like, every time we have discussion, things are a little challenging, sometimes things get a little rocky. And I asked them, I said, well, I want you to be 100% honest and authentic, right? Because I'm going to be like that with you. How much effort did you really give it? Like really, like how much effort did you really give it? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you went through the roof with it. A 2, there it is. That's your answer. That's your answer. Now, if you gave it a 10 and still nothing came about, then that means we got to come up with another strategy. That means we hit the wrong target, right? So, but majority of the time, if you gave it a 10, you getting 10 results.
I love it. Yeah. And but speaking of ET, like he's someone like I know if he was ever coaching me in like basketball or football, I'll be ready to run through like a wall. Like he's too powerful.
brother, let me tell you. And I don't know if the question of mindset is coming up, but we could talk about it. But I'll let you gonna drop.
You know and I kind of wanted. That's exactly what I was going to go to. It's like the mindset. It's like being in this industry, like what type of mindset do you feel like you need to have to pursue and again have that perseverance and be able to, you know, be successful in this industry?
Not saying I don't want to sound graphic, but we eat what we kill. You gotta have that. You gotta have that beast mode. I'm on it. This is what I'm doing. Attitude. And let me ask you, can we curse on here, or are we kind of more respectable?
Do you?
Hey, brother, listen. Sometimes I think a little profanity drives the point home.
Yeah.
You cannot give a fuck what somebody care, think, or view about you. I don't. And again, I'm okay, but that attitude has got me to where I'm at now. I care less with somebody now. Again, I don't want nobody to think negative about me. But if I'm concerned about what he or she think about me and how I do my practice, I'll be nowhere. That's friends and family, right? So you have to listen. You have to have the approach and the attitude that I'm not concerned how people think. We're not concerned what people think about me. I'm locking and I'm focused. As long as I'm doing things ethical, transparent, and with integrity, right? You're good to go. You got nothing to worry about because people always have an opinion, right? Yeah. Particularly when you are showing them progress of what they think, what they want their life to be at, to be like. Because they see you and they be like, man, he was here, now he's there, now he's up there. But I remember when he's told that to me, because this is how it is. A lot of people will give you lip service. I call it Hollywood, right? Oh, I want to do this. Every time you see it, hey, what you working on? Oh, I'm about to do this. I'm about to get my real estate license. I'm about a year later. Hey, yeah, I'm about to stuff. I mean, you ain't doing nothing. I tried to say that. So, but you really have to have the mindset of, I'm not concerned what people think about me. I will continue to have a thirst for knowledge because it's an evolving learning process in this industry. And I'm just going to get it, right? Always have the attitude. I don't care how seasoned you get in the industry or how much you know. This is what I do. I'm always coming from a mindset from a student. I'm a student because you're learning. Now,
always learning. Do
I know more from the agent who just got licensed a year or two ago? Of course, because my experience granted me that. But I'm still coming in from the thirst of from a student standpoint, because that person got in business 6 months ago. They may be quirky with a technology I'm not familiar with that can shorten the learning curve for me so they can teach me something. Yeah. Right? And I just think that's some of the issues with some of the seasoned agents. It's like, this is the worst, right? And some of the new agents probably relate to this. When you're doing a transaction, they said, I've been doing this for 30 years. Man, I don't care how long you've been. I didn't ask you that. I asked you about the terms of that offer.
I'm dealing with that right now.
I've been doing this for he'd be like, here we go. I got one of these again. So again, never have the mindset and the attitude you feel as though I am better, right? Because I am better than the agent sitting across from me. That's the worst approach you can take. End of the day is, our goal is to bring the buyers and sellers together as well as for us to get paid, right? Yep. So why do I want to cause strife, tension, and anger and hatred towards my coworker?
Exactly.
Exactly. We're working together. Let's close this deal, right? You know how many times I've been on transactions? I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No. Continue.
I was about to say how many times I've been on transactions and I seen it, right? Because I got a little keenness to know if something's about to go left, right? So. Because, and this is what happens too, particularly with some new agents, and I'm gonna finish the story. When you're working on a transaction, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I don't know. Because the experienced one, I don't know that. If you can, let's work together on this. When you come at it from that approach, the experienced one will be willing to help you, willing to say, okay, cool, let's work it together versus, chapter 3, 6.4, listen, okay, we know you fresh out of school, right? And I get that, right? And again, what you're saying could be correct, but don't do this because that's not gonna get you nowhere, right? Let's work together. Our common goal. So when you have that approach of, hey, I don't know, seasoned agent, when you have that approach of, I know better than you, you'll get nowhere. Let's work together as a unit.
Yeah.
Let's not forget why we're here. Sometimes we lose sight of that. It's that you against me. No, it shouldn't be that, right? Don't forget, you're licensed, I'm licensed. Let's help these clients out so we can get paid and continue to do more business together, because we might be on another transaction 2 months from now.
Exactly. You never know. You never know. And
Never know.
I love that. Like, I love that for sure. Because again, I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually just about to get into my first year, like complete my first year.
Nice, brother. Nice. So I'm talking to you a little bit, brother.
Exactly. No,
not have that attitude like, hey, but again, but you learn it though. You got it.
And that's the reality. Like, I walked into so much, like everyone's all buttoned up. Hello, sir. Like, I've been here since Jesus was a baby. It's like, relax. Like, let's actually work together. And I want to give a big shout out to like my broker, because he also has that same view on, okay, you're not experienced, so don't be afraid to let ask questions, but also don't allow someone to make them think that they're better than you, because they're not.
Bingo.
And let's work together. Now, you mentioned that you were working for 9 years on that brokerage. Now, what kind of led you to start your own company? Like, what was that defining moment for you that was like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own company now?
Well, brother, like I said, we being honest. That's one thing about my show. I keep it real. So I'm doing the same thing. Brother, I was gonna do it anyway, man. That's who I am, man. I mean, it was just a matter of time. And the reason why is because personally and professionally, personally, I'm just a leader. Not saying that a leader can't follow, because I've done that. It's just I'm just a leader, and it's who I am, right? I like controlling my own ship. I like controlling my own freedom. And I know that with my hands on the trigger, so to speak, I can mold it, guide it, shape it the way I choose to. You know what I'm saying, if I don't have that authority, or I can't, I'm limited to my resources. It's going to frustrate me, because I'm like, I've always had attitude like, okay, who's behind the scenes? Who running this? Okay, I can do that. So like, I've always had that approach. I can do that. Like he or she's no better than me, so I can do the same thing you can do. But anyway, I knew I was going to eventually do it, because again, I wanted to create an atmosphere in the company, just like I described earlier.
I like that, and I like that. So was that transition like how long was the planning process for that? To be like did you know off the bat, like, okay, I need to get this in place before I transition? Like, how was that?
All about strategic calculation, right? So it was like, I knew I was going to do it. So what I did was I put an office in place. See, here it depends on your state, because some states or what country you're in, it's like there's different hurdles you got to go through. Where I'm at here, you could be a part of this brokerage and start your own if you completed the necessary requirements, which I have. So I had everything already set up with my own brokerage. I just wasn't doing no business out of it. Office set up, everything ready to go. So let me tell you the story how that went. It was kind of funny. I was particularly just waiting for a particular contract to come through. And once I was awarded it, I was like, okay, there it is. And actually, I didn't tell none of my staff members. Nobody knew, because I want them running their mouth through the hallways. So what I did was I went in one day, and the administrative and the actually broker in charge, which I'm cool with him to this day, brought him in office and say, hey, listen, come on here. I said, now, and again, I'm not stroking my ego, but I was the Steph Curry, LeBron James of the office, like my team's the moneymaker. So it was like, what's going on? I was like, leaving them all. It was like, yeah, I'm leaving. So they want to do the whole exit interview. I said, listen, I ain't doing the exit interview. Mine made up. I'm out of here. Actually, I'm packing my stuff up in the morning. Just give you the courtesy, let you know. And it was like, well, Mike, what? Huh? What you? Yeah, and actually, I think it caused some commotion up top with the administration, because one person was upset at the other, because they felt as though that, well, why didn't you try to talk to me? My mind, first of all, you couldn't have talked to me.
Your mind was already made up.
Jesus himself couldn't have came down. I was out of there, but to that process now, going through that process again, that's a whole nother. That's another conversation. But yes, I decided to branch off, do my own thing.
Now you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like now you have your own company, and now you're bringing on other agents,
correct,
and other brokers. Like, do you have a specific requirement that you look for? Like, what do you look for in your people that want to join your team and join your company?
3 things: willing to learn,
Mm-hmm.
hungriness, and follow direction.
Mm,
Do well.
really?
If you come in opposite any of that, this ain't a good fit for you.
Okay. So
First, go ahead.
no, continue what you were going to say.
The core of it is you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. You can't never say I'm full, right? You have to, because the hungriness, what I told you a minute ago earlier, we talked about not having the money. That'll always keep you grounded and focused. Like, okay, when you think about, I'm not interested in calling that client back. Oh, I need to call that client back. That's the hungry attitude. And then the follow directions is like, okay, what I need to do? Okay, I don't know. Okay, I need to do that. Okay, talking to my other world. Okay, you want to follow? You can follow directions, right?
Mm.
Hungriness. What did I say? Hungriness. Follow directions. And learning. What I said?
Yeah.
I said willing to learn. Yeah, you always got to be willing to learn. Got to be teachable, right?
Yeah.
Come to the trainings. Never forget people.
Mm.
When you're in any industry, no matter what you do, I don't care how minuscule it is or how monumental it is. All work works. All work, right? Whether you read a chapter, whether you read an article on something, whether an agent gave an experience on something, all that is just deposits of their experiences going to your brain to possibly prevent you from going through it. All work works. So we have a social media class, we have a training class, we have a script class. You need to be coming to that, rushing to come to that, and always saying, hey, I need some help on this. Hey, I need the ones who ask the questions. You ever noticed back in school, the ones that ask the questions be the smartest ones. Instead of keeping their hand down like, I don't know, but I'm not going to say nothing, but I really don't know the answer. You go nowhere.
No, so you want people who are hungry, and that's
hungry. Oh, hungry, ambitious. Let me tell you something. I'll take the broker who took him 7-8 times to pass the test, right? And he's saying, this is all I got. Oh, I want him or her. I want them. Because they're going to be beasts.
I love it.
They versus the one who's saying, yes, and I got a full-time job. I just get my license. I just be like, okay, I already know what I'm dealing with then. One house every 3, 4, 5, 7 months. Exactly. And they're okay with that.
Yeah. But you're looking for someone who's ready to get it and eat. Again, I like that.
I'm looking for me. So I'm looking for. Can't quite find that. I think I was almost close. Yeah.
Now I kind of now want to, the interview almost done, but I want to, before I end, I want to dive into the podcast, the Headley show, like
the Headley Group Real Estate show.
Yeah. So like how did you get started with that? How was the trials and tribulations going through and building that?
I would say, and again, I'm gonna get into some specifics. But what happens is I believe in so many core values that I really believe in. But I'm gonna say something here that I think is so impactful that drives me a lot. I train my mind what my eyes can't see, right? So what that means is that I'm willing to plant the seeds to enjoy the tree, the harvest, the farm laid on. Because I see it, right? As long as you see it, who cares anybody? That's what I told you a minute ago about not concerning yourself with about other people think.
Yeah.
When you can see it, because I already can see, listen, this we're going to be on one podcast. Like we're going to be moving. People are going to be talking about us, but I have to continue to plant the seeds, right?
Yeah.
Doing this right here. The first thing I said, I told my team, I said, I need to be on more podcasts, cross collaboration. I need to be doing that so people can start seeing me so I can get them viewers. Let me tell you what the roadmap that I'm on with the podcast. Now, you may not be familiar with this, a little younger. Back in the days when hip hop artists wanted to get on, what they had to do is they had to go see the DJs. They had to go to the radio station. Can you play my mixtape?
Yeah.
Parties, right? They had to, that's where I'm at right now with the podcast. I'm in the hustling stages, right?
Yeah.
Because what happens is, and I'm not going to name them, but some of the top podcasts that do something similar, I done reached out, they ignored me. But trust me, they won't ignore me. After a while, they're going to call. But yeah, they ignore me. They probably say, oh, he a little guy. One thing I do know, out of these 60 episodes, they seen it. They're on social media because we heavy on social media.
love
They
it.
see it, right? So they probably say, oh, he ain't big enough. But what happens is, what I realize, people, is that don't get caught up in the views. Nah, don't get caught up in the views. Now, views are good in terms of sponsorships. And again, you get paid off of this, but don't get caught up in that. The reason why, because all it takes is one, just one. You get that one, boom, you flying. That one buyer seller lead, that one person that can connect you with this person, that connect you with somebody probably at NBC, right? Well, it just takes one, right? So I started it, like I said, brand awareness to promote the Headley Group Realty, our real estate brokerage. But what happens is I really enjoy this. I enjoy this right here, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed being honest, talking to the peoples and helping new brokers out and show them, like, listen, learn from my experiences. But the fact is, like I said, we grind, we keep moving. We're gonna pop one day. Trust me, I know we are.
I love it. And you guys definitely will, especially with your energy.
Oh, you like the energy, brother?
I like it. I love it.
And what it is, though, brother, is hopefully you can pick up on it. I'm all about authenticity, man. Like it's me. Like right now, the way I'm talking now, I talk to somebody else. Is like I'm having a conversation as if we wasn't having this podcast. To me, I'm most comfortable with who I am and the way I am now. Authenticity always wins. Yeah. Authenticity. When you try to be like John Doe, Jane Doe, Robert Smith, you won't never win, and it only lasts for the short run because that's not who you really are, right? So it's like you meet a chick and you go out on a date and y'all talking and every time you hyping yourself up. Right? How long that facade gonna last? It's going to back because you can't keep up with the lies on top of lies. So be honest, right? Just be who you are, because what happens is some people ain't gonna like you, but I guarantee there'll be a whole bunch of people that will like you.
Exactly. And I want to follow up with this question: like, how do you build that confidence? Because again, I see a lot of people in this industry now putting on a front. It's like, you don't need to, but obviously it's not, I guess for some people it's not as easy as I guess you and I will make it seem like, okay, just be me. Like, I stutter, I'm comfortable with who I am.
Brother, you heard me about 20 times. That's what I got. A stuttering problem. It is what it is.
I'm comfortable with me, but like, how do you help, someone who's new into the business, get comfortable with, being their authentic self?
Okay, the first thing I would say is that, and again, this may sound too general, but you got to get comfortable with yourself, right? How do you get comfortable with yourself is that, like we talked about it earlier, is I wish I had it on me right now, it's over there, but don't let that gadget that we talk on control your thinking, because social media, that right there, brother, social media will drive you if you let it, right? Let me tell you something about my social media. Two things the algorithms consistently spits out what you watch the most. Two things with our two areas which it gives me a lot. I'm a big fan of comedy. Like, I love humor. I love to laugh. It sends me comedy stuff and stuff that's educational, inspirational.
Yeah.
That's what I got. Whether it be a book, a quote, I'm hearing somebody, a motivational video. That gets me going. And I love to laugh. All the other trash about somebody got jumped off a bit, I don't want to see that. Because what happens is you have to mind that, because end of the day is, listen, brother, you have to protect your diet. What is your diet? You got to protect your mental, how you eat. You have to protect what you're seeing, what's surrounding you. Is the environment that where you at, is that conducive where you trying to go? All that plays a role in it, right? So I'm saying this to say that because I'm a product of that, right? That has helped me to kind of see where I'm at, get where I'm at now, and continue to evolve, because I see that, hey, this is working. My environment is good. I'm reading these books. I'm reading this chat. I'm listening to this right here. I'm working out, enjoying. I'm taking care of myself. Hey, this is working for me. For me, may not work for you, but it's working for me, right? So if I had to say anything that can inspire or get people on that page, is mind what you're viewing, what you're seeing, what you're listening to, and get comfortable with who you are. When you get comfortable with who you are, you said I can curse a minute ago, brother. Listen, man, I don't give a fuck with nobody. I swear. Not the slightest, man, because end of the day is, we all got expiration date, all right? Ain't nobody getting in that box with you, just you, right? Ain't nobody getting in it with you. So what you concerned about? He think and she think, that's it, right?
Mm.
Other two kinds of pains, and again, I don't want to take too much of it, but other two kinds of pains: pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Right? That pain of discipline weighs a little bit, a few ounces. You know, that pain of regret. Have a conversation with a person 98 years old in a nursing home, and what they always say: "I wish I could have, should have, went back and." What are you waiting on? It can happen. Listen, me starting this podcast, I didn't overthink, well, I got to hire this person. Man, I went to YouTube and said, okay, these are the things I need to do. Okay, let me order this part here. Good friend of mine, he's good with technology. I see, what you think about this right here? He's like, yo, I think that camera's good. We made it happen. Yeah. And then I was at a point where as though, hey, I need some help with the editing. Let me put together a team. And that's when you've seen the young ladies now. I had others before her, right? So it's about taking action, because inaction gets you nowhere. Overanalysis, paralysis. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it 2 days, 3 days, 6 months, 2 years go by. You still are saying I'm gonna do it. What the hell are you waiting on?
Yeah.
Action will produce the results. And even though if we don't get it right, then it's gonna come.
For sure.
Progress equals happiness. But anyway, go ahead, brother. I digest.
No, for sure.
Get me on the road here, brother. You get my ET coming out.
And I love it. But like I'm gonna be like the last thing you said was analysis paralysis. I said before, I was one of those people, you know, and I wanted, you know, things. And then as you mentioned earlier, once you suffered enough, I honestly believe that's that trigger. Like, you know, like for me, a big driving point for me was my son. Once my son was born, it's not about me. Like my wife, once I have a family now, whatever feelings, maybe out the window, because they need to eat. And that is how I now maneuver. And that's kind of like helped me, you know, start this podcast. Again, I'm someone who's camera shy. I like to be in the background. No, I need to be out now. I need to start talking.
Tell, brother. Seems like you well experienced at this. You've been doing this for a while.
I appreciate it, but yeah, it's uncomfortable. But again, I got comfortable getting to know who I am, and again, my son, my wife, those are the people who motivate me. Now, time has been far spent, but I do have one last question.
Go ahead.
Where do you see the podcast in the next 3 years?
Oh man, brother, I think the Breakfast Club is calling me.
Bob.
In the Breakfast Club, they calling. I can see the podcast doing the host live events.
Yes.
I could see us having some names who are some names more of a celebrity status. But let me say something to that for those who are out there. Yes, the celebrity will give you more attention, will get you more views, but there's nothing wrong with having people who's not as famous, right? Mm-hmm. Because like I said before, there's more people like us versus more people that has a celebrity that can kind of relate to our stories, right?
Absolutely.
So there's nothing wrong with having these conversations without the big name tickets. But to answer your question, definitely continue to grow. Making it happen, and as them doors continue to knock down, as I get more comfortable doing this, hey, maybe possible speaking arrangements. I mean, again, because I'm a big believer that if you and I live by this kind of with the companies that you help your people get what they want, you'll always have what you want, right? Yeah. So and it's about that exchanging value, not take, but you're not giving nothing. You won't last, right? When you give. I mean, whether it be resources, a tip, a guidance, man, your people go through the wall for you.
That's beautiful. Now, there you have it, guys. That was the DHomer Real Estate Podcast.
Support the show, brother. To like and share. Tell them like and share. Follow the show.
I was about to.
My bad, brother. My bad.
Do you have any socials that you would like to promote? Anything that you want to promote first?
First of all, I'm gonna say everywhere. What I mean by everywhere, we mean Apple, Google, YouTube. Instagram, Facebook, the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Just put in the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Anything comes up, we would love to for you to like and subscribe and support us. And again, let me add something. If you need any tips or advice, and again, this is no swipe up by my course, reach out via DM. I am always willing to help and assist because like I said a minute ago, you help people get what they want, you'll always have what you want.
I love it. I love it. Again, thank you guys for tuning into the DHomer Real Estate Podcast. You can listen on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. You can follow the podcast on IG and TikTok at the DHomer Real Estate Podcast, Twitter, the DHomer Pod, and then you can follow me personally on IG and TikTok at DHomer Real Estate. Again, Michael Headley, I want to thank you so much for dropping gems and being authentically you. Again, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be connected. I definitely want to stay connected with you for sure.
That's right, brother. Well, thank you all guests. You all take care.
All right, take care.